Welcome back. Today we're talking about why so many ad accounts hit a ceiling, burn budget, and just stall, even when the product is good and the spend is there. My guest lives in ad accounts all day, so let's pull this apart.
Thanks for having me. And the frustrating thing is that the fix is almost never where people are looking. They spend all their energy on audiences, on targeting, on little settings, when the real levers are creative, offer, and structure. They're polishing the doorknob while the house is on fire.
Let's start with the most common self inflicted wound, the learning phase.
Every edit, every budget jump, every new audience can throw a campaign back into the learning phase, where performance is volatile and expensive. And people do this constantly. They wake up, the numbers look bad before lunch, they panic and change something, and they reset the whole thing. The algorithm never gets to stabilize, so it never gets cheap.
So, step one is almost doing nothing.
Honestly, yes. Give the campaign the conversions and the time it needs, and the results settle on their own. I've seen accounts improve dramatically in a week just because the owner stopped touching them every morning. Discipline beats activity here. The hardest skill in paid ads is leaving a working campaign alone.
Next mistake, running a ton of ad sets at basically the same people.
It feels like coverage, like you're being thorough. It's actually an auction against yourself. You're bidding up your own costs while the algorithm splits its learning across five duplicates that all want the same buyers. Consolidate that into fewer, broader campaigns. Let one strong setup breathe, and your costs drop while your winners finally have room to scale.
Broad scares people, though. They feel like precise targeting is safer.
It feels safer, and it's usually worse. Stacking interest after interest boxes the algorithm into a tiny pool and inflates your costs. Modern delivery finds buyers far better than your guesses when you feed it a strong creative and let it go wide. The mindset shift is this: stop trying to out target the machine, trust it with targeting, and pour your energy into the ad itself.
Which is the real pivot, creative over audience.
The creative is what actually decides the winner. Delivery can find people, but it cannot fix a weak ad. So the highest leverage thing you can do is test more creatives, not more audiences. Different hooks, different angles, different formats. When you treat creative as the variable that matters, your cost per result finally starts moving.
And inside the creative, you say everything rides on the first few seconds.
Most of your budget dies in the first 3 seconds. If the hook doesn't stop the scroll, nothing after it matters, no matter how good the offer or the edit is. So you lead with the boldest moment, the result, the claim, the question, not a slow logo intro. Earn the stop first, then earn the click.
What kind of creative is actually winning right now?
Raw, native, creator style content beats the expensive polished spot more often than not because it earns trust inside a feed. People have trained themselves to scroll past anything that looks like an ad and stop on things that look like a post. So make it look like a post. Phone footage, a real person, a real moment. It converts because it doesn't feel like marketing.
Let's go to offer, because you say that beats budget.
When results stall, the reflex is to throw more money at it, but the offer moves the needle far faster than spend. A stronger guarantee, a bundle, free shipping over a threshold, a real reason to buy now. Any of those can lift your conversion rate so much that you can afford to pay more to acquire and still profit. Fix the offer before you ever touch the budget.
There's a measurement trap too, attribution.
If you judge ads on last click alone, you end up killing your best performers. The ad that introduces someone to the brand rarely gets credit for the final purchase, so on a last click report it looks weak, and you cut it. Then you wonder why the closers dried up. Widen your attribution window and you start seeing which ads are actually driving the sales, not just catching the last touch.
And the number that should run the whole operation, CAC.
Customer acquisition cost, measured against your real margin, not just ROAS. If you don't know what it truly costs to get a customer and what that customer is worth, you genuinely cannot tell a winning campaign from one that's quietly bleeding you dry. ROAS hides it. CAC against margin makes the right moves obvious.
Even your best ad eventually stops working.
Every winner burns out as the same audience sees it again and again. When frequency climbs and the results slip, the ad isn't broken, it's just tired. The fix is to feed the account fresh creative on a schedule, so you always have the next winner warming up before the current one craters. Brands that scale treat creative like inventory, not a one-time project.
Then there's tracking, especially after the iOS changes.
Broken tracking quietly starves the algorithm of the signals it needs to find buyers. Since the privacy changes, a lot of accounts are flying half blind without realizing it. Server-side tracking and a clean, healthy pixel give delivery real data again. I'd say half of underperforming accounts aren't a creative problem at all, they're a measurement problem in disguise.
And when something finally works, people ruin it by scaling too fast.
Classic mistake. You find a winner, you get excited, you double the budget overnight, and you throw the whole thing back into learning right when you wanted it to take off. Costs spike, performance tanks, and you blame the ad. Scale in steady steps, maybe 20% at a time. Let delivery adjust, and the results hold as you grow.
Last big one, owned audience.
If every sale depends on paid ads, your costs rise the second you stop spending. The brands that scale profitably build an audience they own alongside the ads. Email, a warm list, retargeting pools. Those turn expensive paid clicks into repeat buyers you can reach for almost nothing. Paid acquires, owned monetizes. You need both.
Before the wrap, the landing page. You say the leak often isn't even the ad.
Constantly. People blame the creative when the click was fine, and it's the landing page quietly killing the sale. A slow load, a confused message, a buried button. The ad did its job, and the page dropped the ball. Fix the page first, the same traffic suddenly converts, and every campaign on top of it gets cheaper.
And warm versus cold traffic, people blend them.
If you're not separating warm audiences from cold, you're overpaying everywhere. People who visited, added to cart, or watched your video convert far cheaper than strangers, yet most accounts bid the same on all of them. Build a proper retargeting layer, and your cheapest sales appear out of nowhere from people who were already interested.
If someone wanted to audit their own account tonight, where do they look first?
3 places. Look at how often you've been editing because constant changes mean a permanent learning phase. Look at how many ad sets are fighting over the same audience. And count how many genuinely different creatives you've tested this month. If that last number is low, you just found your ceiling.
Put it in one line for someone stuck at a ceiling right now.
Stop tweaking audiences and fix the things that actually move the account. Strong creative, a sharper offer, simpler structure, and clean measurement. The account doesn't need more spend. It needs fewer leaks and a better ad.
That's the playbook. If it helped, the channel breaks down accounts like this every week. So stick around and watch the next one.